So I says, yo, haha, it's all in the words.
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Man, it's been a month since I posted my last video, and a lady friend of mine from Second Life reminded me of that. What's up, Sapphire? Give a shout out to you. Yeah, she was like, yo, don't go disappearing. People get worried. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, within the last month, I've just been soaking up life. Um, I'm not the type of person to keep complaining, keep bitching, keep moaning about things. But today, this video is straight up a passionate video, a passionate rant, because we're talking about the youth. Um, my fam has been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation, and it's upsetting because it's upsetting only on one aspect, because you got these kids on here, and with these kids on here, well, let me put it to you like this. On the PS5, with the controller, if you add a certain thing on the controller, you can hear the local talk through your TV. And on Xbox One, you couldn't do that. You had to, hook up your headset in order to hear people. Or whenever I used my Xbox app on my PC, to live stream, so that way I can use my OBS and record it. I could hear people talking locally. But PS5, you can just, whatever, like I said, you can hear people talking. And so since we've been playing on it, I've been hearing all these kids, teenagers, adults, but I'm focused on the aspect of the kids. And it make me wonder, where the fuck are their parents? It's like, when it comes down to kids getting dropped off at school, the school becomes the babysitters while the parents work. And as a kid, my damn self, or when I was a kid, that's what it seemed like to me, too. So I ain't lying on that. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It was like, sometimes I'd rather be at school instead of being at home. And so I, would use school as an escape. And also, while I was at school, I was a class clown, getting away with shit that I couldn't get away with at home. So, from experience, I'm talking from experience. But I'm sitting up here and I'm listening to these kids. And it worries me, because I'm like, these are the next generation. Or, yeah, these kids are going to be a part of the next generation. I know people can change. You know what I'm saying? I know they can start off this way, but end up, turning out another way. I know that happens. But it's one of those things of, what do we say? If you're already prepared, then you don't have to get prepared, because you'll already be ready, right? So, with that in mind, if a kid is already being nurtured and groomed to be something decent in life, then they don't have to struggle so fucking hard when they get older. You know what I'm saying? As they're leading their way through the pathways of life. And so it bugs the fuck out of me whenever I think about, what's going on with the youth. It bugs the fuck out of me when I gotta think about, parents who are barely there for their kids. I always thought that being a parent is a hard thing to do because, the responsibility of it, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard enough to live our own individual lives, but yet now we have a child or children that we gotta get ready for this world. So it's like, yo, I worry about that. And once again, I'm making this video because I hope that whoever watches this video can talk to whoever they might know that has kids and really push the whole thought and idea that there are some fucked up kids out there and they don't need to raise, you know what I'm saying, another one. It's crazy. I know that most people will say mind your business, if you're talking about their kid and how, and their parenting skills. They'll say mind your business, you know what I'm saying? But I think true friends, would respect each other's thoughts and wishes. And if you couldn't, then there's a problem there. I've talked to a few friends before and questioned their skills. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the easiest thing to do, but it was something that I felt like it needed to be done. And the reason why I felt like it needed to be done is because I had to look at them and be like, yo, I see you with your kid and you're riding up and down the street and you're wanting them to dance around in the car. You're wanting them to listen to the hip hop that grown folks listen to. And you're happy about that. So the question is, what are you going to expect out of them? You know what I'm saying? And it was a touchy subject, and most times me and that person, well, every single time I've said something, me and that person didn't continue our friendship, our relationship, or whatever. So even though it's a touchy situation, I still think it needs to be addressed. Because, if you give a fuck about your friend, or if you give a fuck about life, if you give a fuck about the next person, then I think every now and then we gotta pursue happiness for other people, the people that are closest to us as well. I do understand that when you see a kid being a fucked up kid, then there's no need to question a person's parenting. It depends on if they're crossing the thin line of abuse or not. You know what I'm saying? But some kids, they need their ass whooped. Some kids need to be chastised. Some kids need that tough love. There's other kids out there that don't need it. I was raised up around some. They never got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I look at them call them geeks, nerds, dorks, all that type of shit. But looking at it, I'm like, man, these kids didn't cause no problems. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what to call it. I can't say it was hate or nothing like that, but it was a big, big misunderstanding because seeing that their life had gone a different direction than mine, I can sit back and have regrets and be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I should have read more. You know what I mean? But it's one of the things where we gotta live life to get experience. You know, even though I like to learn vicariously through other people, and I believe that there's a lot of other people out there and a lot of kids that are the same way. You just can't learn something just by reading it. Sometimes you need extra different learning tools to get a hold of something, to grasp onto something, to understand it and get it locked in. You know what I mean? We got to experiment. We got to figure out what works for us. And for parents, it's that patience to figure out what's going to work for your kid. Because it's like, not everything that you're wanting them to do or think, you know what I'm saying? You can't portray that. I mean, you can't pass that message on to them and expect them to really understand what you're saying, unless the communication is there. For real, for real. But to get back to this topic of what's going on with this next generation that's gonna be pioneering the way, you know, I'm really feeling the effects already, because if I'm feeling the way that I feel now, emotionally, you know, like over caring, you know what I'm saying, then it's kind of like, yo, when I get older, you know, it might get worse. You got people out there who are guidance counselors who follow their passion of wanting to help the youth, and it's messed up whenever you see teachers, counselors, adults period, abusing these kids or taking advantage of them, you know what I'm saying, mentally, sexually, all that other kind of shit. It's real fucked up, because it's like, where can a kid go to if they don't trust the people around them? That type of thing. And it always makes me wonder, you know, how can adults treat kids the way they treat them? Like it ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like my parent did things to me and my siblings. Come to find out that they wasn't treated that way when they was kids. And I was like, God damn, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you didn't get whoopings like this? You know what I'm saying? You didn't get treated like this? So where in the hell did you pick this up at? Why are you doing this to us? Or why did you do it to us? Past tense, because I didn't find out about that until later. And to be honest, I still didn't question my parent. It's just like, man, by the time I got older, you know, I didn't give a fuck. When it come down to trying to get some understanding between me and my parents, just, you know, no news is good news. If I hear from you, I hear from you. If I don't, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Most likely, if I hear from you, you might need something, or you might be going through some bullshit. That's one parent. Now my other parent is actually showing me support and showing me some love on my YouTube channel. So I've talked with them a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Well, we've talked before, and they've already apologized for, you know, being the type of person that they was, without me even having to say anything. They just wanted me to be in their life. And I salute my parent for being like that. But my other parent, nah. So when I think about these other kids, I'm like, where are their parents at? Why are they on this fucking game system talking the way they're talking? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I just hope that, I just hope that, I don't know. My hopes are kind of like all over the place when it comes down to positive hopes. You know, it's like I just don't have one positive hope. I'm hoping for a lot of different positive things to occur into these kids' lives. You know, I want them to be the best that they can be, but it's scary looking at it the way, or looking at it from where I'm looking at it. I'm just like, man, it takes me back to when I was a kid, and I'm like, did I have folks, worried and scared about me? Well, I can't even ask that because I did, and they told me they was worried about, where I might be going. There was a lot of people that had told me when I was a kid that I had potential that I wasn't using, and it was upsetting them. It was upsetting to see somebody with potential and waste it. So, I pretty much answered that. And I should have thought about that before just running my mouth just now. But for real, it's like I'm not the smartest person, and I'm not the dumbest person. I've done some research on this topic, looked up some videos, read some books. As a matter of fact, there was a book on a bookshelf at the house when I was a kid. The title of it was How to Raise Your Black Son. And it was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I only read a little bit of it, you know what I mean? Because this shit was like way over my head in the first place. But the fact that there was a book that existed, you know what I'm saying, to give a person a tutorial or tips on how to raise little black boys, it's kind of like, man, for real? When I got older, there was another book on the bookshelf. It was an introduction to sociology. And as I read into the first couple of chapters of that, I was like, ooh, I like sociology. I like the study of people. And that led me through another channel. Another pathway of my life to which, made me feel good about being interested in people, period. The things that make us tick, things that can make us better, and the things that, can make things worse for us. But once again, let me get back to the topic. I'm thinking about these kids, and it's like, some kids need the ass whoopings and they need to be chastised, and some kids don't. And it's up to the parents to figure out, what their kid is about. I think COVID had given us perfect time to really understand who our kids were, and for our kids to understand who their parents were. But I don't know if a lot of people took advantage of that time and really, really thought about how that time was precious between, a family unit. I don't know, sometimes I don't think we think about the real important shit until it's like too late. And that's a shame. But I don't want to talk in circles. I just want to let it be known that, I give a fuck about the youth and where they may be going, the direction they're heading down. And as far as me doing something about it, well, if I thought that somebody was getting abused, I would say something. Literally. I mean, I would. But for the most part, if I see that somebody's needing their ass whooped or something, I'm down for it. I'm for real. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what else? I mean, how many ways can you talk to a person, no matter if they're a kid or an adult? What was it? I'm gonna finish the video, but I want to say this. The guy who wrote The Art of War, he was like, if I'm given an order to do something and the order isn't carried out correctly, well, when my minions come back, after a failed attempt, I gotta believe that it was my fault for not giving them the correct instructions, and maybe in detail. So I'm gonna tell them again exactly what I want them to do. But if they come back a second time with a failed attempt, then it must be perceived that it's something to do with them. Because how can you tell somebody what you want them to do so many times and they not get it? You know what I'm saying? It's got to be them. It can't be you, can't be your orders. It's got to be them. It's something like that, with The Art of War. Check it out. Do your research on that. I think it's three failed attempts. The first attempt, it means that, it's got to be something wrong with me in the way that I'm giving out the order. And if it's still a failed attempt, then it's got to be the order that I'm giving out. And if it's still another failed attempt, then it's got to be the person that I'm giving the order to. It's something like that. Have you ever seen how you can get a group of people, put them in a circle, and one person will whisper something in the person's ear, and the other person is supposed to whisper that same message into another person's ear, and by the time it gets back to the first person who whispered, or the person who sent the original message, that message that they received is going to be different. It's going to be altered. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with those thoughts in mind, when it comes down to raising kids, it's got to be something that we can do as a people to change that, so that the next generation is going to be a better generation. We're in a technical world, and as a civilization period, we got to be getting better. How can we be worse? Or how can we be getting worse? It's not right. It's not cool. Perfect example for kids is, how in the world can we have a president, or have had a president, that everybody disagreed with, but nobody made any changes? And when it comes down to Trump, that's what I'm talking about. It's like we had red flags about Trump before he got in office. We had red flags while he was in office. Had red flags after he was in office. And nothing is going to be done about it. At this point, he's supposed to go. He's been indicted. And it seems like there should be a question of if he's going to be punished for the things that he's done. But in all reality, we should know that he's not, because that's just the way the system is. It's the way government is. That's the way people who have something in life, that's the way they want the shit to be. It's a fucking a battle between the have and the have-nots. And we have our younger generations that's caught up in this war. And how are they supposed to win? You know what I'm saying? DJ Khaled is like, all we do is win, win, win no matter what. But if our kids aren't winning, then none of us can win. So, I'm gonna get off of here. You know, please question everything that I'm talking about. Do your own research, form your own opinion, and share your opinion with either me in the comments down below or with other people, because you never know when someone has thought about the same shit that we're talking about, but yet they didn't have anybody to talk to about it. And it sucks to feel like you're all alone whenever you're sitting around a bunch of people. You're the only person thinking on that level, and everybody's looking at you like you're the weirdo because they don't think on that level about these topics that we're talking about. It's crazy. It's crazy. We live in this world and we're segregated by so many things. We're individualized in so many different ways. You know, there's so much difference between so many people, but yet we all are in the pursuit of happiness. But everybody's happiness is different. So it's strange as fuck. It really is. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Would you have a good day? Would you have a good night? Would you have a good morning?